Hello and welcome back to this module on Neo-Orientalism and Orientalism. We spoke about Orientalism earlier, and now I'll introduce you to what we mean by Neo-Orientalism. Neo-Orientalism is a term often used pejoratively to describe modern incarnations of Orientalist thinking. Neo-Orientalism should be understood more as a supplement to enduring modes or Orientalist representation. Now, Neo-Orientalism, like Orientalism, is found in academic literature to critique Western attitudes to Islam and the Islamic world post 9/11. Another way of defining Neo-Orientalism is to look at it as a mode of representation that while indebted to classical Orientalism engenders new tropes of othering. It's been now more than 30 years, this is what Edward Said said, since his seminal book Orientalism was published, in which he deconstructed the vision of the Orient that had been proposed throughout Western knowledge. Said's assumptions sparked off a very controversial debate that's valid even today. 25 years, this is what Said said, 25 years after the publication of his book Orientalism, he says, Orientalism once again raises the question of whether modern imperialism never ended, or whether it has continued in the Orient since Napoleon's entry into Egypt 2 centuries ago. Arabs and Muslims, he says, have been told that victimology and dwelling on the depredations of empire are only ways of evading responsibility in the present. You have failed, you've gone wrong, says the modern Orientalist. This, of course, is also V.S. Naipaul's contribution to literature, that the victims of empire wail on while their country goes to the dogs. But what a shallow calculation of the imperial intrusion, that is, how little it wishes to face the long succession of years through which empire continues to work its way in the lives, say, of Palestinians or Congolese or Algerians or Iraqis. This is what Edward Said had to say, and now let's turn to what Ali Baghdad and Juliet A. Williams say. They assert that though the term Neo-Orientalism marks a change from classical Orientalism, the two concepts nevertheless share similarities. Because both are monolithic, both are totalizing, they're reliant on a binary logic and based on an assumption of moral and cultural superiority over the Oriental other. Doug Tuastad has called Neo-Orientalism Neo-barbarism. He says that imaginaries of terrorism and the Arab mind backwardness can be seen as closely connected. The latter explains the former as irrational. Violence thus becomes the product of backward culture, and he says that he regards this way of representing the violence of peripheralized peoples as a specific expression of symbolic violence, which he calls neo-barbarism. The neo-barbarism thesis, according to him, implies explanations of political violence that omit political and economic interests and contexts when describing violence, and presents violence as a result of traits embedded in local cultures. Neo-barbarism and Neo-Orientalist imaginaries may serve as hegemonic strategies when the production of enemy imaginaries contributes to legitimize continuous colonial, economic, or political projects, as can be witnessed in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And now we turn to Pankaj Mishra, who says that in the mid 19th century, Karl Marx claimed that European colonizers, though corrupt and violent, were the unconscious tool of history that would propel India and China into modernity. And he described the backward Asiatic mode of production defined by the absence of private ownership and the presence of a rigid centralized form of government that prevents change and modernization. Now abruptly we are told that India and China are economic giants driving world growth by converging on the European model of modernity. Francis Fukuyama first outlined this post-Cold War ideology of globalization by claiming in his 1992 book, The End of History, that Western liberal democracy, based on private property, free markets, and regular elections, was the terminus of historical development. Consecrated annually in Davos and circulated in business class lounges around the world, this quasi-teleological view increasingly shapes the beliefs and policies of Western political, business, and media elites. But much has changed. Today, the protagonists mostly consists mostly of think tank people, politicians, journalists, the Hollywood soundbite experts, Christian preachers, and some in academic circles, in contrast to the earlier Orientalists. And Sunaina Myra gives this very graphic, vivid description of an instance of Orientalism that she witnessed on the dance floor, where she found 4 white women sailed onto the stage and gyrated in eclectic outfits that were a mix of Indian and Middle Eastern style, their tattoos and jewelry shimmering in the blue light. I was simultaneously amused, intrigued, and puzzled. Why on earth were these women performing a dance associated with Middle East at a South Asian event? I wondered. Why was such an Orientalist performance being staged at an alternative music party? Why were only white women performing on stage and not Arab, let alone South Asian dancers? Over time, I realized that belly dancing is a pervasive phenomena that is increasingly popular among US women, particularly white women of different ages in the Bay Area and also around the country. Middle Eastern restaurants and dance parties in the United States have often featured belly dance shows, but belly dance classes have become especially trendy among non-Arab women across the United States since the 1990s. And I myself witnessed this while attending a tech electronica night in Toronto, which was supposed to be a fusion of Indian, mainly Hindustani classical music with techno music, electronic music. And what I witnessed there was a performance by a young woman, a young couple actually, a Canadian electronica musician and his partner, who was performing pure Hindustani classical music. There was also a performance of tabla by a Canada-based tabalchi, and a performance of Kathak by his partner. And at this electronica night, which was supposed to be a fusion of Indian classical music with electronic music, I found a number of white women, as similar to the manner in which Sunaina Myra describes, how appearing on the dance floor and accompanying the performance of pure Kathak by this Canada-based Kathak performer, accompanying her through performing their own versions of belly dancing. And much in the same way as Sunaina Myra was aghast, I watched this performance aghast, wondering what belly dancing had to do with Indian classical dance, particularly Kathak dance, except for its Islamic association in the recent past. But I couldn't quite understand how these young women could equate Indian classical dance or Hindi vocal music, Hindustani vocal music, with Arab belly dancing. So that was an example, another example of the forms of Neo-Orientalism that are pervasive not only in the US but all parts of the Euro-American world, including Canada, where every part of the East, the differences between different parts of the East are nullified to produce a Neo-Orientalist version of the East that conforms to the images of the West. Gayatri Chakravarti Spivak, the noted post-colonial critic, calls this in the discipline of English, she says that Neo-Orientalism in the discipline of English constructs an object of study called the third world and proposes that this new nativism conceals a reverse ethnocentrism that can lead to the perpetration of a new Orientalism. So what we are saying is that Neo-Orientalism is not just cultural or not just popular cultural or not at the everyday level, but also permeates the academia in the form different modes of study. Another version of Neo-Orientalism is manifested in cultural consumerism. This cultural consumerism has resulted in a curious phenomena. Whereas formerly India was integrated into the global culture industry as a producer or exporter of cultural commodities in the past, or the raw material for what became cultural commodities in the West in Orientalism in the form of exotica. Now this cultural consumerism has resulted in the form of exotica, and John Hutnick's excellent book on called The Critique of Exotica engages brilliantly with how non-Western music such as Qawwali, Bhangra and several other musics are appropriated in the production of the new exoticism of exotica for the consumption of the global Western consumer. It's also increasingly their consumer. Now this form of Neo-Orientalism is interesting because it's repackaged and circulated back to the Orient. So it's also increasingly their consumer, or at least a certain class of emerging capitalist elites is yuppies with disposable incomes, unlike any experienced by previous generation of largely austere socialist India. So what we are saying is that this form of this new exotica is in which the East is exoticized and repackaged, is now circulated back to the East, where it is consumed by a certain group of elite consumers as their own culture. This is heralded by a change in how India and its inhabitants are now imagined or represented on world stage, but one which includes vestiges of past representations refashioned into what she calls the new, one is attempted to say, ersatz Orientalism, and what the New York Times has recently referred to as the new Indo-Chic. First of all, now this new Indo-Chic is visible not only in cultural productions such as art and music and in the academia, but in all genres of cultural production as well as academic production. So, first of all, because at the beginning of this new century, when the clash of civilization theory is gaining more and more followers, Orientalist discourse is still influencing the cultural production of the West, be it academic or artistic. In popular culture, a recent example of this is given by the Hollywood movie 300, released in 2007, which relates the resistance of a handful of Spartans warriors against the Persian invasion during the Battle of Thermopylae. In this American blockbuster, the portrayal of the Spartans has nothing to envy Rennie Riefenstahl's aesthetics, while the massive Asian horde of invaders is depicted as barbaric and monstrous. This crass caricature of the Persian army caused a strong reaction of Iranian authorities at a time of heightened tensions with its American counterpart, so much so that the issue came to the fore in international institutions like the UN. And the latest example, which pertains to India, is Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, and the cultural representation of India in this game. As one of the first major franchises to set a game in the country, Assassin's Creed Chronicles India brings an underserved cultural identity to light. This is the view of some of the people. India is a diverse country, home to some 3,499 separate communities and 325 different languages and dialects, according to one anthropological survey. But representation of the region in video games has been lazy at best and non-existent at worst. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3's campaign featured a single mission set in the city of Dharamshala with barely a trace of Indian culture. Games like Final Fantasy and Smite tend to bend elements of Indian culture to fit the game's needs or aesthetic, particularly with Smite's voluptuous reimagining of an Indian goddess. There's a feeling of cringing when you have someone like Shiva, but the thing looks nothing like the Shiva is supposed to look, said Arvind Raja Yadav, an independent game designer who created his own role-playing game inspired by Indian mythology. Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, however, is committed to authentic Indian representation, as they claim. Set in a bustling city of sandstone and Rangoli patterns, Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, an offshoot of the main series, features a cloaked adventurer in the middle of the Sikh War of 1841. The mission is to recover the famed Koh-i-Noor diamond for the good of mankind while killing a bunch of Sikh enemies along the way. As with game publisher Ubisoft's other Assassin's Creed titles, plenty of historical research went into the game's creation. The Sikh weaponry, for instance, accurately features the katar, the chakram, a sharp ring-like blade employed by throwing it, and the bagnaka or the bagnaka or tiger's claw. UK-based Climax Studios, the lead designers behind Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, emphasize the importance of original historical sources for their world building. But people, informed opinion holds it offensive and even exploitative. It says that despite its best attempts, Assassin's Creed Chronicles India is not above reproach in regards to cultural marginalization. By casting the Sikhs as the antagonists of the story, some argue the game unwittingly plays into pre-existing stereotypes that paint this religious minority as villainous. So we stop with this, and if we have a little time, let's try to play Assassin's Creed's game and watch it together.
The game, so it's a little bit different. It's not a fully fledged AAA Assassin's Creed game. I played the initial game, which is a Chronicles China, but now set in India, so it's a little bit different. And let's check it out. If you guys want to see more of this game, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know. Let me know on Twitter, Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere, and I'll try to do some more videos on this game if you want to see it. If it doesn't well enough, expect some more.
That are visible in other genres as well. Let's play the game.
Doesn't that give them a reason to shoot me? There it is. Now to reach it. Unarmed and in areas I shouldn't be, full of palace guards. This is going to be fun.
It's a bit dialogue, but if you want to read that, it's up to you. But yeah. Upgrades we can get is increased health, carrying bodies faster. We can pickpocket, loot, free jewels from the guards for like a secondary.
A skilled and deadly. You can read it for yourself.
Oh, okay, I like that. Vibrant and I guess like Indian sort of culture, I guess. Okay, so I guess I can go down here. Okay, there we go. Zip line it. Got some points there as well. Oh shit.
The gate is not guarded. This should be easy.
Was that a tiger? I swear you said that. That's definitely a tiger. There's tigers in this game? No one told me this. Right, jump down. Release. Right, let's go in here, I guess. So I've got no weapons at all at the moment. All I've got is my whistle. Which is, oh, elephants! Oh my god. There's actual elephants in this game. Right, so there's definitely two guards here. They're both occupied. They're sort of talking to each other. They can't really see that well. They're distracted. Sweet, that works out perfectly. There's a guard here in sleep.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams, Mr. Guard. You can climb these red things. I don't know why these red things are so climbable. There's some guns. Guns, okay, right. So if I can sting in here. Ooh, that's a bit close. And I can emerge. Jump up here. Oh yes. We're done. Hee got gold for that as well. So these are like no errors. We were proper assassin. So that's a jump up. Up here. There we go. Go back. There we go. That's how we move around. What do you like? This way? Is this the right way? Oh, I guess it is. Hence the birdies. They're pretty birds. Let's just start a look at the map. So we are. We've got to keep moving, keep going, keep going. That's quite far. That's very far. Wait, what is that? Is that like, that's like actual flowers. More like hay, it's like actual flowers. It's a posh one. Oh, you can crouch under the elephant. Of course. Man, this game is pretty. I mean, it's not like the best graphics in the world, but it's like the art style. Like, it's just awesome. What do we go? Back up here, I guess. Oh, I can climb the tree. Of course we can climb the tree. It's a palm tree, really, isn't it? Looks so exotic. Ooh. That guy's got a gun. As you know from Assassin's Creed games, we don't like guns. So yeah. Hold L1. Oh, we can still put the whistle like a different place. Oh, make it bigger. Okay. Right. What was that sound? Will we come down and investigate? I'm going to go this way. Oh shit. Oh, he saw me. There's still gold though, so that's good. So the guy just there. I'm going to try and hide in here. Hey! Oh man, that's too close. Woohoo! Not like that. Up here. We'll have to talking to you.
Enjoy playing the game. I leave you to enjoy the game, but and play the game. But what is distressing is the perpetuation or the continuation of Orientalist motives, the the presence of Orientalist paraphernalia of the palace and the garden and elephants and snake charmers, the exoticization of the East, the touristy East of princes and snake charmers, that is replicated here despite the good intentions expressed by the creators of the game. One finds that the same tropes, the tendency to exoticize the East persists even in the so-called good intentions, which was the basis of Orientalism also, which shows a desire of the East in the West. With that, we conclude this unit, and we will move on to the production of Inushi.